Hello everybody, Crow back again with the third part of the Midwest Gaming Classic pickups. This is going to be Nintendo related stuff, so let's just jump right in. I'm going to jump in with Zippy Race for the Famicom. Don't quite remember what booth I bought this at. I bought this in the next booth, next game at the same booth. How much did I pay for this? $5 game. There's actually a screenshot on the back. Never really heard of this game, but the screenshot made it look like a sort of racing game, and the title assumes that is a racing game as well. And that is indeed what it is. You're driving a motorcycle, and basically it seems like a very early Famicom title. In fact, it says here copyright 1983/1985, so it is indeed an early Famicom title by Irem. Yeah, Irem is on the logo here. And this game's brutal. Let me be honest with you, it's freaking brutal. The cars, you're driving a motorcycle and there's only cars on the road, but those cars absolutely do not want you to pass them. They'll always like try to swerve right into your way, but if you're quick, you can get around them and they'll stop. You just kind of got to know the way the game's programmed in order to get around the cars, because it seems like they're always going to run into you, but they'll always stop at the last minute. But what makes it even more difficult is the way that the road always twists and turns and splits and everything, and you're done if you get off the road too. You're just toasted if you get off the road. So on top of with the cars, you get the road, and that's equally dangerous. And you try. I don't know if there's like a certain distance. I can't remember. Yeah, I think you have to make it a certain distance. And then in the second stage, the perspective kind of changes. But I only barely made it into that level. This game is brutal, I swear. But I'm glad I picked it up for $5. I think it's a decent price. I also asked something on here that I found very unusual. There's a little LED or something on the cartridge. And I actually played this on the Retron 5, so it works on it as well. But when you plug the game and you're playing it, there's a little light that goes off in the cartridge. I don't know what the purpose of that is. I don't know if it always seemed to always be on. So I don't know if I played this in a regular system, if this would blink or indicate something. But it always was on when I hit it in the Retron 5. But yeah, just even for the light by itself is kind of an oddity that makes this game worth having, I think. But aside from that, I mean, it's not the best racing game. It's pretty frustrating, but it's just worth having, I think. Next off, we have, what is this game called? It's 12Apr2015, and I don't know, I didn't write down what the subtitle of it, but it is the third 12Apr game. So I wound up picking this up for $12. Actually, when I saw this, I wasn't sure if it was 12Apr. I could tell, but kind of tell by the picture. So I was like, hey, what's the name of this game? And they're like, oh, it's 12Apr3. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm buying it. I do like the 12Apr games, and don't know if I have the one that is on the NES called Stinger is kind of like a completely different type game, so kind of need to be on the lookout for, I guess, the original 12Apr and 12Apr2 on the Famicom. I think that would be nice to have. But this game is also pretty difficult. Kind of plays a little bit like Zaxxon, where you can fire ahead and then you have an alternate fire that fires on the ground. But it doesn't give you the luxury of a targeting reticle, so you kind of just have to know how far of a distance you have to shoot the ground targets. And you're limited on your ground targets as well. So once you're out of your targets, I think you have to pick up a flashing item before you can reload and fire on ground targets again. But all in all, it's pretty good shoot 'em up, I guess. Almost one of the earlier cute 'em ups, if you will. I mean, what can you say? There looks like there's a banana roller coaster cart on the cartridge itself. So when I saw that, and it's also got this weird hole in the cartridge. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but up here there's like a hole. I don't know why there's a hole in the cartridge, but they put one there. So yeah. Pretty interesting game. So when I saw it was 12Apr, I was like, yeah, I'll pick it up. Now this next couple games I picked up from Windy Gaming. This Famicom game I kind of was really interested in having, even though I technically already have it. This is Super Mario USA. Pretty much exactly the same as Super Mario Bros. 2, but with a different title screen. But I just thought, how much did I pay for this? $17. But I was always just really interested in having the Japanese version of it called Super Mario USA. So I think we all know the story about how Super Mario Brothers 2 on the Famicom, they didn't want to bring that over to the US because the urban legend is that they didn't bring it over because they said it'd be too hard for American gamers. But that's not really why it came over. It really didn't come over because they felt, I guess Nintendo of America felt it was too much the same thing as the original game. They're like, can't we make this game to stand out from the original game? So just is it like more of the same? We don't want to be seen like we're hashing out the same game again and again and again. So that's why they took the Doki Doki Panic and they kind of reskinned it with the Mario characters, made it more of a Mario-centric game. And they released that as Super Mario Brothers 2 here. But then in Japan, they had Doki Doki Panic, but they didn't have the Mario version of it. So that they came out with, they took the Mario 2 that we had and re-imported it back into Japan as Super Mario USA. So I just think it's funny that I have Super Mario USA, and that's why I bought it. I just wanted it as it is. But you know, as far as Super Mario Brothers 2 or Super Mario USA, everybody knows about that game. You pick your character, and you don't really just jump and stomp on the enemies. You have to pick them up and throw them, and that's where the game mechanic comes in. So, yeah, we all know what Super Mario Bros. 2 is. So let's move on. Second game I picked up from Windy Gaming, Fist of the North Star 5, or rather Hokuto no Ken 5. I picked this up not knowing I'd be able to play it. Because I'm a sucker for Fist of the North Star games, and I'm going to pick them up whether or not I can play them. This is an RPG, so I can't play it because I can't read the text, but I did kind of fumble around. What's really funny is that I guess you're playing as Kenshiro, but in the overworld map, it looks nothing like him. It looks like the character's got red hair, and even when he's in town and stuff, it does not look like him. But then when you get into a battle with somebody else, it completely changes, and then it looks like him. So I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, I don't know what options I was selecting, and it's kind of weird to see like a straight-up turn-based RPG done with Fist of the North Star. And it's kind of funny because it's like, okay, yeah, Fist of the North Star 5 is an RPG, and then Fist of the North Star 6, which I have, is just a straight-up one-on-one fighting game, which isn't that great either. How much did I pay for this? $12. What are you going to do? I'm a sucker for these kind of games, so if I see like 4, I think 1, 2, 3, and 4 are on the Famicom. And then 5 and 6 are on the Super Famicom. I don't know how many there are after that. I have the second one. What's funny is that Fist of the North Star 2 on the Famicom is actually the Fist of the North Star that we got on the NES in the US. So kind of weird there. And I have that. So I have 2 for the Famicom, or for the Japanese imports. I have 2, 5, and 6 now. If I run across the other ones, I'll pick them up as long as they're not too outrageously priced. Just because I like collecting them. That's the only reason. Now this is the last Nintendo-related game I picked up at Windy Gaming. There's still 2 more games, and those will be in the next video that I picked up at Windy Gaming. But this is actually my absolute favorite pickup of the entire show. And this is Parodius Da, which is actually a Game Boy port of Parodius, which I had completely forgotten existed. And I honestly, if my wife hadn't been there, I would not have seen this, because she was digging through the Game Boys and stuff. And she's like, oh, what about this game? And she knew I liked Parodius, so I was like, yeah, I'm picking this up. It was $17, so it was still a little bit more of the expensive title, one of the more expensive titles I picked up at the Midwest Gaming Classic. But after playing it, I mean, the game plays really well. I was playing this on the Retron 5, which is the footage you're seeing. And for a Parodius game, on the small screen, it works very, very, very well. I'm very impressed by this game. And I'm so glad I picked this up, because I really like the Parodius games. And I might have them all now, not like all the different variations. Like I have the 3 on the Saturn, and I have this one on the Game Boy. You know, I wonder if it was out on the PSP. I'm gonna have to look into that. Because if there's more of them that I don't have, I'm certainly gonna have to look that up and perhaps buy those in the future. So I like Gradius. Gradius is probably one of my favorite shooters. But you take Gradius and you make it even more bizarre and more weird, and I'm all over that. So Parodius might be my favorite game shooter series. I don't know. I like shooters, but I'm not that great at them. But Parodius is right up my alley. This Game Boy title, I'm just like the greatest pickup that I picked up at the show, I think. And finally, you know, most of these pickups that I've been showing, I bought all of these on Saturday. This game is the only game we picked up on Sunday, and that is Meteos Disney Magic. Now, I had Meteos originally for the DS. When the original DS came out, Meteos was one of the earlier puzzle titles. What's funny is that it was made by Q Entertainment, and they made the puzzle game for the DS. But they also, when the PSP came out, they also put out Luminous on the PSP, and that's also a puzzle game. But what's so funny is that the same company put out two different puzzle games, and the puzzle games are completely different from one another. Where Luminous is kind of like, oh yeah, you kind of get put into a trance, and you're going bobbing along with the music, and you're taking your time putting the pieces down most of the time. Meteos is this fast and frantic puzzle game, and this is no different. I only played this a little bit. Now the thing that's different about this Disney Meteos game as opposed to the original Meteos game, at least from my memory, is that the original Meteos game, you played the game, you know, with the holding the DS in the standard fashion. Whereas in this one, you tilt it and you only play on the touch screen side, and then the other side actually shows pictures and stuff. So you're only on one screen. Whereas in the original Meteos game, when the pieces blasted up, they blasted into the upper screen, and you could only control the pieces in the lower part. But also as a result, I think the pieces are a little bit smaller. Now, okay, let me try and explain how Meteos works. You basically can drag pieces anywhere you want, as long as they're in the same column or row. And then once you get three or more together, they basically form a platform that fire off and they blast up into the air. Now your goal is to try and get those pieces off of the screen. And once they get off of the screen, as many pieces as you can get off of the screen, they count towards how many pieces you've eliminated. And then once you eliminate a certain number of pieces, you can move on to the next stage, or at least you pass the level. But, you know, the more pieces there are on a platform when you lift it off, it really affects, there's like kind of like a physics element to it as well. So when you're blasting off, like, you know, a few pieces, they'll blast up at the air really high, really quick. But if you have a whole big load on there, it's going to go up slower, and you might need to match more pieces after it goes up into the air to prevent it from re-landing on your platform. Also, if you do a line vertically, that one line will just shoot up even faster than your horizontal line, but you're not going to get rid of as many pieces. So it's kind of a fast, frantic puzzle game once you get into it. And some areas actually have higher gravity. So like certain levels, you have gravity to contend with in a puzzle game. So it's kind of fun in that respect. And this Disney version is just all Disney-related stuff. My wife actually wanted this game, and that's the only reason I picked it up. But now that I did, I realized that I don't have Meteos anymore, the original Meteos and the regular DS. So that might be a title I'm going to look for in the future to reclaim that game. I don't remember why I sold it originally. I didn't sell it in the Purge. I think I sold it because, I sold it a long time ago. And I think I sold it because I originally had Meteos. And then when I got a PSP, I got Luminous. And I liked Luminous better because it wasn't as like fast-paced and as stressful as Meteos. So I was like, I don't want Meteos anymore. And I think I just got rid of it because of that.
Time machine is waiting.
Yeah, we're all waiting because I'm going on and on forever. So let's end this video. There's one more part to go, and that is just going to be all PS1 stuff because I want PS1 crazy at the Midwest Gaming Classic. So see y'all next time. Bye.